What's that? You want to catch up on the Metroid series before Dread comes out? I got you. Hey, it's Cisco here. I am here for this video to talk about how are we going to find all of the games for the Metroid franchise. I know Metroid Dread is coming out in less than a month, and a lot of you guys are wanting to play the games to catch up. Now, to catch up on Metroid Dread, you don't actually need to play all the Metroid games. Essentially, all you need to play are the 2D games, which is Metroid 1, Metroid II Return of Samus, Super Metroid, and Metroid Fusion. And there are 2 remakes, being Zero Mission, which is the first game, and Return of Samus on the 3DS, which is the second game. The remakes do provide a little more story, a little more lore compared to the originals. But either way, the story's still the same. You can play the originals and be fine. So the games not important to Metroid Dread are the spin-offs like Other M, and the Prime games like 1, 2, 3, Hunters, Pinball, and Federation Force. Now, I do apologize. Due to Metroid Dread, the prices of all these games have shot up. So I guess I did make this video a little late, because at this point, due to Metroid Prime 4 and Dread releasing, Metroid games are, skyrocketing in value. All the prices I stated in this video, I have searched up today. Alright, first, let's go through the 2D games. The first original NES Metroid can be found pretty much anywhere. You can buy it on the eShop of your 3DS or Wii U. You can even buy a cartridge of it for your Game Boy, and you essentially don't have to do that. That's if you want to collect them, on different consoles. But if you have the Nintendo Switch, it is on the Switch Online service, and that's all you pretty much need to play the first Metroid game. If you happen to have Metroid Zero Mission, well, you could just play that one instead. But if you do have Zero Mission and you beat the game, you do unlock Metroid. I believe on the 3DS, if you beat Return of Samus, it also gives you Metroid to play as. You can also buy the original cartridge for the NES. I bought it because I wanted it for my collection. Both of those will run you about 15 to 25 bucks, both on Amazon and on just your local stores. Now, you don't have to play the original NES version of Metroid. There is a remake, which is called Zero Mission. Metroid Zero Mission is one of the more expensive cartridges. It goes for about $70 to $100 online. Yikes. And I've checked my local video game store. They're also very expensive, unfortunately. But luckily, for about $8, you can buy it on the Wii U eShop. And if you were a 3DS ambassador, I heard that you were able to play it there. Unless that was Fusion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but one of those, or both of those, you were able to buy on your 3DS if you were in the ambassador. Metroid II, the Game Boy version. The original cartridge goes for about $30 to $50. It's a little unfair because I bought mine for about $15, $20, I believe. So it definitely has gone up in price. You can also get Metroid 2 on the 3DS eShop. Metroid 2 also got a remake, and it's on the 3DS. This game is absolutely incredible. There's no other way to buy it other than buying the original cartridge on the 3DS or buying it on the 3DS eShop. It is definitely the newest game in the franchise so far, up until Dread hits. So it's gonna be about full price. You're looking for about $35 to $40. This remake is fairly new, so you shouldn't have too much trouble getting your hands on it. Next one is a great title, probably my favorite one, and it's called Super Metroid. This is the third game out of the 5. But Dread being 5. Lucky for everyone, Super Metroid, which is considered to be like the best one, is actually free with your Nintendo Online. So go to your Nintendo Switch's eShop and download the Super Nintendo Online service, and there will be Metroid free. If you want to buy the original cartridge, it's pretty expensive. Super Metroid runs for about $80 to $100 online. And again, in local stores. My local store had Super Metroid for $200. What? If you have this bad boy, which is the Super Nintendo Classic Mini, you're able to play Super Metroid on this as well. Elsewhere to get Super Metroid is the Wii U eShop. I have my Super Metroid copy on this bad boy right here. If you also have the new 3DS, you are also able to get Super Metroid on this thing. It runs for about $7.99 USD. Fourth game, Metroid Fusion. The original cartridge is going for about $70 to $100, same as Zero Mission. Unfortunately, it's the Game Boy ones are just very hard to get your hands on, so the only other way would be Wii U eShop. Wii U eShop is the way to go. You can get half the Metroid games on the Wii U eShop. Probably like more than half. Next up on the list, we have Metroid Other M. Now, this game is probably one of the more cheaper ones. So this game is not very loved by the community. It's a fun game. It is, and if you buy this game, it's cheap. You know, if you do happen to have it, I do strongly recommend to play it. It is pretty fun to play. The graphics are really nice. The downside, it's not a very good portrayal of the series. Samus is very wimpy and naive in this game, and they're also really, like, the Federation forces in it, and they're very annoying. We heard of this figure, Adam, for so long, and in this game, he was just a giant asshole. Like, literally just with giant assholes. Yeah, no, that's why we don't really like the game very much. But again, you can buy the original disc. I've seen it go for as low as $5. But I just checked today and it's going for about $15 to $35 on eBay. And I saw one on Amazon for about $20. So yeah, there you go. This game is kind of considered a spin-off, so if you don't play it, you don't have to worry. But if you are curious, it takes place right after Super Metroid. And that's literally all there is for the 2D games. So the ones that actually fall in line with the story that Dread is gonna be building off of, you don't even have to play half of those. So as long as you just play 1, 2, 3, 4, any variations of them, you are fine. But let's get on to the Prime games, shall we? So the Metroid Prime Trilogy is probably considered the most expensive out of all of them. The Metroid Prime Trilogy is going for hundreds of dollars, and it's just really rare. I mean, that's just a game not worth it. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to get the Metroid Prime Trilogy for cheap, eShop baby. The Wii U eShop has the Trilogy for $20. So if you don't care about having it physically and you just want to play through the Prime games and you have a Wii U, you can play 1, 2, and 3, all amazing games. You can play all 3 of them for $20. But if you don't want to do that, there's also another option, and that's buying them physically but separate, not as a trilogy. So instead of going through 1, 2, and 3, I'm kind of just doing all of them together because they kind of go for about the same price. Facebook Marketplace and eBay are where I would search for the Metroid Prime games. People will have you believe that the Metroid Prime games are really expensive and rare. They're so cheap, I'm able to get multiple copies. On eBay, I got this for $13, my second copy. On Facebook Marketplace, I got this one for $15. This one I bought in Amazon for $15. I know, crazy. But unfortunately, I checked, they don't have them anymore. So if you do want to buy the Prime games, I recommend searching eBay and Facebook Marketplace. You can go to your local game store as well, but due to like the stigma of those games being kind of rare, I noticed that at local game stores, they're pretty expensive. I saw Metroid Prime for about $50 at my local game store, and I was like, what the? How about mine for 10? Get out of here. So recap, if you want to play the Metroid Prime games, eBay and Facebook Marketplace are the way to go. Do not spend so much money on them. They are not worth that much. Trust me, I saw those games priced at $10 to $15 for years. Now that Dread's coming out, it shouldn't raise the price by $50 to $100. Don't go to those prices. Next one to talk about is Metroid Prime Hunters. Wait, that's pinball. Oops. So the next one to talk about is Metroid Prime Hunters. This game was on the DS, so if you want to buy it, it's gotta be on the original cartridge. The original cartridge is going for about $30 to $40 on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Now be careful. So there is Metroid Prime Hunters and there's Metroid Prime Hunters First Hunt. First Hunt is a demo. If you are paying $40 and it says First Hunt, you're buying the demo, not the full game. Be aware of that and don't pay that price for it. Unless you want First Hunt for your collection, I have it, but I paid like $5 for it, not $40. Don't pay that price. Metroid Prime Pinball, baby. This is actually pretty fun. DS as well, so Prime Hunters and then Prime Pinball were the DS titles. I got mine for $20 at a local game store, but online it's going on eBay, Facebook Marketplace for $50 to $130. Absolutely ludicrous, ridiculous, every word that's a synonym of that. Do not pay that price. It's a pinball game, it's not worth that much. Do not, again I repeat, do not pay $50 to $130 for Metroid Prime Pinball. I paid $20, and that wasn't a long time ago. I paid $20 last year. And the last one on the list is Metroid Prime Federation Force. Oh geez. This game, like Other M, is also placed very low in the rankings of Metroid games. And I don't even think Metroid Prime 4 or Dread. I don't think any of the games are ever gonna build upon the foundation that Federation Force built. So it was just a spin-off multiplayer game, so I would not pay attention to that game. But if you want it for your collection, understand that it is also a newer title. It was on the 3DS alongside with Metroid II, Return of Samus. So you shouldn't pay any more than $35 to $40. Don't pay any more than what a regular priced 3DS game is. So the only way to really get this game is the 3DS eShop or getting the physical cartridge. But I do want to note that this game, again, like I said before, is newer. You don't pay any more than $35 to $40. The game market's being really ridiculous lately. I've heard complaints about it, but now as a huge Metroid fan that's been hovering over the Metroid games and knowing all the prices throughout the years, I'm kind of annoyed of the prices now. I paid $20 for my Federation Force copy on eBay. They were all about the same price. I remember scrolling through so many. But now I'm seeing them for very ridiculous prices, over retail price. For Federation Force, that's a game like nobody wanted to play. So I'm just letting you know now, be aware, the game market's kind of stupid right now, so if you see it for a ridiculous price, I promise you it's not worth that price. The game can be found for about $28 on Amazon, but I did see a listing go as high as $90. It's stupid. Don't pay that price. On top of that game is also multiplayer, and if you play by yourself, it's practically impossible to beat. Woo! So those are how you achieve all of those Metroid games. I hope that was informative. I hope I didn't miss anything. There are other options, like OfferUp. I didn't really check that because that's more dependent on your location. And there's also Buy, but that's more for like Japanese games. And I heard the pricings are very good for just games in general. And you can get some really cool stuff on there, but there's not really much for Metroid on Buy. I think I only saw Metroid Other M, and that was kind of expensive. But if you happen to check on there and see, games, as long as it's for a console that's not region locked, just make sure. I also recommend to game chase. I like game chasing. I go to my local game stores and I check for all the deals and stuff. Game stores can be a secret weapon. Like, right now I got this for $20 last year, and I'm seeing that online the prices are ridiculous. So game stores can be a sacred place for holy sales. But also be very aware of fakes. So if you see Metroid Fusion for $15, no, it's a fake. Now, you may be watching this video and be like, Cisco, that's pretty complicated. I don't think I'm gonna buy all those games or play all those games. I don't have enough time. That is alright, because it's not gonna be my next video, but in my next series of videos, I will be covering the timeline and all the games leading up until Dread. Just the 2D ones, not the Prime games yet. If you want to buy the games on your own, sweet. If you don't, I have a video coming up that will catch you up on the timeline, on the story, and you'll be set. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys go and game chase those Metroid games. Catch you later.